One of my all-time favorite games is Call of Duty Black Ops 2, and one of my go-to weapons is the R870. Now, while I like shotguns in video games and in real life, I've always wanted a Nerf version of the R870 that's in Black Ops 2. And thanks to XYL, we finally have that. Sort of. This is the XYL 870. Before we get too far into it, we just want to say this blaster was provided for free for review by CS Noobs, but keep in mind that our opinions are our own. So the XYL 870 is a magazine tube-fed shell-ejecting shotgun, and you actually get quite a bit of stuff with this particular package. So let's talk about what this blaster comes with. Obviously, you get the blaster itself. You have 5 of these half-dart shells, 5 of these other shells, which we'll talk about a little bit later, a flashlight, a laser, a red dot sight. You get this strap that goes over the pump grip that actually holds shells as well, and then you also get this basic sling, and you also have this side-mounted shell holder. And these parts are actually really nice. This shell holder is made of nylon, and the laser, flashlight, and red dot are all made of metal. And that's another thing too about this blaster, is that this is actually really good build quality. You have a metal barrel and a metal tube, with the white parts being nylon, and the black on the receiver is just plastic, but it's still good plastic. And I'm pretty sure most of the internal components of this, including the trigger, are all made of metal, so there is possibility for upgrades. Let us know if you want to see a mod of this thing. We'll try to see if it's even possible. But there is a lot going on here, and it is very nice, and it feels rock solid. This thing weighs 3.5 pounds, and considering how small it is, that's pretty stout. And not to mention the loading mechanism, the shell ejecting. It's just so satisfying. And out of all the shell ejecting Nerf blasters that I've actually used, this is the best feeling one, bar one that we might cover relatively soon. And even the shells are really nice quality. You have a plastic body with a metal lip, and then you have a hard rubber gasket that seals for the dart. With that being said, that doesn't necessarily translate to performance because the darts that it comes with is actually sub 60 FPS. Meanwhile, Worker Gen 3s were just a little bit over that. Just like with the XYL Unicorn, you do get expanded polypropylene darts, and while that does improve FPS a little bit, it's at the loss of accuracy. So it's up to you whether you want to use them or not. Now it's about time to talk about the other shells that it comes with. Now it comes with 5 half-dart shells as well as 5 shells that are a different caliber. See, not only does the blaster come with half-darts and EPP darts, but it also comes with what I like to call micro darts. They're basically these tiny little foam bodies with these hard rubber heads they're just really, really small. And these other shells are actually chambered in that same caliber. And to be honest, they're not really that great. And honestly, the main issue with these darts is they don't really fit in the shells well, and I'm not entirely sure why. But I feel like these darts would be damaged very easily, and don't be surprised if you lose all of them really quickly if you do like them. And when I first pulled it out of the package, I was actually a little surprised because the darts kind of just look like a Lego piece with how they're seated in the larger foam piece, but hey, at least it keeps them protected. Now, we chronographed these and we're getting about 80 FPS. But I'd also like to point out that this shell caliber is the same as the X-Shot gel balls. So technically this is a foam and gel blaster at the same time. But I actually accidentally found this in testing, and you can actually remove the insert for those darts, and then it's just a regular half-dart shell using a flathead screwdriver. So if you really don't like those calibers, you don't have to use them necessarily. Now I do want to go back to the attachments real quick, and while the flashlight and the laser aren't really anything to write home about, they are usable. It's the red dot sight that I'm actually really interested in, because most of the time when these blasters come with the red dot sight, they're actually not good. This is an actual usable red dot sight, which is weird because it only shoots like, 60 FPS, but it's a really cool addition, and we'll use it for other things. Now I do have to address the elephant in the room. This is a very realistic blaster, and while I personally think it looks amazing, it's not really something you're going to want to bring to your public games. And you wouldn't really want to anyways, because this isn't the best performer, to be perfectly honest. Now, while you don't want to bring this to any public games, I certainly think it's a great flanker. Now, we've had some issues with our particular model, and I think this is just a lemon, but sometimes it doesn't like to eject the shells, which causes a jam of sorts. And it's a minor annoyance, but honestly, with what this blaster offers, it's not even that big of a deal. But yeah, I really wish this was done up in some friendlier colors, and I wish the performance was better, but maybe we'll look into modding it. Not entirely sure yet, but I'd like to revisit this sometime in the future because this is just an absolute beauty, and it feels just so good. And I can't really understate that enough. Like I said, special thanks to CS Noobs for sending in this blaster. Really appreciate it. I'm really excited to get my hands on this. And if you'd like to purchase one, we have a link down below. I'm Coney Dog, and as always, stay safe and happy foam flinging. Oh, also, did I mention this thing has slam fire? That's too good.